benches up and down Seneca Street,
The
the trees.
money's already secure.
The money's secure.
It's already secure. And how long has it been secure?
Well, it depends because the money's coming in from different sources. The only way I can answer it, because I've checked, the money is here. The money is here.
Who controls that money?
Well, the money is given by request. You request it, and then it comes in, and then when.
Who's the overhaul?
The controller.
The controller.
Well, no, the money will then come in, and it'll come into the Department of Public Works.
No, it goes to the controller.
So then it's not...
Okay.
Andy, see
And
if
it
we'll
goes
look
into the
up.
Okay.
Because I work for the
Okay.
city. Goes to the controller.
Yeah, and then it will be dispersed.
So that money is
That's right, yes.
So
designated to
you started back in 2000 and 2002 for this. You budgeted it at one
And
point,
then May for
whatever it was at that
bill
point.
it.
The longer you guys stretch this out, the less we're going to get for the return on the money. And we're going to end up getting nothing for $1.5 million
Yeah.
because we're stretching it out
Well,
10 years beyond.
It's
Seneca Street will
nothing
look
that's
like
being
Broadway.
it's nothing that's being done voluntarily.
Broadway's
It's
gonna
being
look
done
better.
because
Are you
systematically
kidding?
the
Why
money
don't it look
takes a
like
long
Broadway?
time to
Wait
get
till you
to
see
us.
Broadway.
But what can we do to change the system then? This is absolutely insane. They don't hesitate in taking the taxes away from us, and if we don't pay our property tax, they're gonna put a lien on our house.
Yeah.
So where does this money go? I mean, they don't hesitate in taking the money away from us, why can't they put it on our street?
Okay. Yes.
Is that 1.5 million just for Seneca Street?
Yes.
Or for the whole...
Seneca Street.
Mark, may I ask you this? You were talking, they were just discussing about where Ames used to be and all that, to make it into a senior citizen complex. We were told about 4 years ago that on the corner of Middle Springs and Seneca, that building would be utilized for senior citizens.
That building.
The other day, I was coming across from Rite Aid, and I see these young people, beautiful cars, took new pillows in their hands, blankets in their hands, and the little bag with the little junk in, walking crack, 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 and they go into the building. Last year, I saw this family, I don't blame, they don't have a washer and dryer, with their laundry, walking up Seneca Street from Pomona to Mineral Springs. They go across the street, open up the door, and they're going to do their laundry. Why can't that be knocked down? Because we got drug addicts there. And if we're gonna make it into senior citizens, make it into senior citizens. The edifice is strong, it's firm. Why worry about, honey, about Ames Plaza when we got the building right there? It's near a bus route, it's near a church, it's near a grocery, and it's near a drugstore. And they would appreciate that. So utilize what we have.
Yes.
Hi. I cleaned up cigarette butts for years. I kind of defended, and those are my flowers that you're seeing in Seneca Street. You don't remember me? I'm Kathy Mega. He promised
Thank you for coming, Pat.
You know what? I had a daughter trying to buy a house in Orr's Way, and they looked. I'm not making this up. I felt sorry for the realtor, and she tried to find a house. For the longest time, you know, the kids that have bought, they like it along Abbott Road, and they like all that area over there. You've targeted certain funding for police and fire. But my daughter was looking for a house. She's marrying an attorney. He wants to live in the city, and they couldn't find a place. She's got a good job. She could not find a place. Finally, she rents a condo in Snyder because that's all she could come up with, which killed me because I don't even want her there. There's one more kid that didn't come. I have a nephew looking for a house for a very long time, that was 5 months. He hasn't found a house suitable. Is there a way to target funds to the Seneca Street area to bring the young people into this area? Now, you know the 10 grand that you give police or fire for living in the city? You got this fireman's class coming in. Do we want them to go to North Buffalo? Nothing personal. I like all my roads in North Buffalo. But this is the neighborhood who has a college within walking distance of a hospital, within walking distance of 2 private schools, within walking distance of a golf course, a beautiful park. Is there a
Yes.
way to get special
Yes.
funding to get people like,
Yeah.
you don't need my kid,
Yeah.
but any kid,
Yes, we do.
anybody's child here,
Yeah.
to buy
No,
a house
it's
along Seneca
yeah,
Street?
It's an excellent question, and it's an excellent thought pattern, and so let me just comment on it for a second.
Okay.
The area that I'm working on right now is that through the execution period of Seneca Street, which we're all frustrated, and I am too.
Right.
And so at some point in time, and I'm hoping that it's 2010, is that the execution of the project, the streetscape, the streetlights, the planters, the trees, the receptacles, the curb and sidewalk and pavement is completed. So over the last year and a half or so, I've been concentrating on the very thought you just brought up. Because you see, over across the creek, or the crick, depending on how you say it, be very careful about this. The houses that are going off of McKinley Parkway and Abbott Road, it is incredible the amount of money. We're talking Cape Cods on certain streets off of Abbott Road and Seneca Street going for 120, 130, and then if it's more than a Cape Cod, if it's a double or if it's a house with a little lot, it's incredible the amount of money. And further, on Whitfield, any of you are familiar with Whitfield. I'm 53 years old. I challenge anybody to tell me if they've ever seen a for sale sign on Whitfield. And the reason is that almost every single house on Whitfield, except for two, are ranches, single floor. And there are an awful lot of people, in my view, in South Buffalo and beyond South Buffalo that would buy a house like that. So, to answer your question, the answer is yes. That is why I've identified 6 parcels on Seneca Street. 6. That's all we got. That's open. That's open to be able to build something that would be something that would draw the young people that you talk about,
And I
or
do think we need young people. I mean,
empty nesters.
Don't be offended, or empty nesters. We do have empty nesters we've seen move back, actually.
Yeah.
But we
they're
want
not going to
young
move.
people.
They're not going to move into Seneca Street. They're not going to move on Seneca Street. Not yet.
Not on Seneca.
Not yet.
But
They're
I
not going to
have
move
the
on Seneca Street. They're not going to move on Kingston or Princeton, where some of those folks have lived there their whole life, and at the end of the day, when they want to put their house up, you know what they're going to get for it? On the other side of the creek, people are selling their houses for $120,000, and they're getting an offer for 17 or 19. It's an insult. It's an insult to the men and women who've lived over here their whole time. So whose job is it to do something about
And
it?
there's one more point I'd like to make.
Okay.
We're moving over to Potter Road. So we're selling and moving back towards the city. Didn't find one in the city, but I did find that nice piece. Make a long story short, that neighborhood, it's not right here, ladies and gentlemen, but the neighborhood just past Casanova Park and the city line there, I have to say, West Seneca looks like crap over there. What kind of pressure can we put on them so that neighborhood right there at Burger King and those buildings there can get cleaned up? What pressure can we put on the town
First
of
of
West
all,
Seneca at the same time?
yeah,
Because that is also your neighborhood.
Yeah, it is, and it's a good question, and I've had conversations with the supervisor of West Seneca. He agrees with your assessment that the bordering of South Buffalo and West Seneca on some of those streets are not good at all, and that there needs to be attention, and it's something that he's aware of, I'm aware of, and it's something that we have to do, and that's under what I would call the housing component. And so that is the reason why I have a very intimate relationship with AmeriCorps/Youth Build and with Habitat for Humanity. And so AmeriCorps has already identified a number of houses over here on Seneca Street and also within the Hickory Woods, and they've been very, very helpful over the course of the summer, using young people to go there and to do odd jobs that, you know, the lady or the person couldn't do it on their own, so they had help. So by cultivating relationships, I see it 3 ways. One is to rehab. When you can rehab, and there are a couple of gentlemen in South Buffalo, some of you may know who they are, and what they're doing is they're buying doubles, and then they're making the double into a beautiful single home. And I love that idea.
Yeah.
Because if I was a councilman, I would put a law in that banned absentee landlords from coming into the community that I live in. Period. The end. Whether you had a chance to pass it or not, I would do it. Absentee landlords have been very